Hello everyone, Kevin and Liz from Happy Acres Bee Supply. Today we're going to show you how we recommend to install a package. Packages come from Wilbanks apiaries. We've been very happy with the way these packages are. Very few dead bees in them. They have great queens. Liz pried off that piece of wood and exposed the queen cage. This is a can of syrup. We're going to remove both of those, but it's easiest if you knock the bees down first, give that package a good tap. That'll expose that queen cage. As she pulls that out, we start with a 10 frame box and pull 5 frames out. If you have an 8 frame box, still pull 5 frames out. This will and make your entrance reducer on the small size opening. If you have drawn comb, perfect to use instead of your brand new frames like these. Your queen cage being pulled out gives you a chance to check on your queen. She is alive and kicking. The top with that metal disc has 2 staples. Pry one of those staples off. Once you get that staple out, use your hive tool, don't use your fingers. And then bend that tab over. That exposes what we call the candy. It's actually a fondant plug. That should take them about 1 day to remove. Place it between that outside frame. See how we hung that there and push that frame up, keeps that from falling down. We're going to take this package and we're going to dump, not shake, we're going to dump about a couple handfuls of bees. Try to get it into that opening. And then we're going to set this package right into the box. That way we don't have a whole lot of bees flying around, especially if you're in another apiary with other hives. You don't want those bees going out and wandering and drifting to other hives. So we're going to leave that in there till tomorrow. For today, we go ahead and use that can of syrup that we got with the package. It's a good thick syrup for them. Get them started. We like the hive top feeders because they'll hold a lot of syrup. We'll put a gallon in it tomorrow. And then make sure your notch is on your inner cover. When we put the lid on, anytime you have a feeder on the top, close that notch off by pushing that lid back so that bees can't come up and into it. We want any bees accessing that syrup to come through that notch, which means it's only from your colony. And that way they have to come up through the brood chamber. Tomorrow on this hive, we will come back and pull that package out. We installed one in this hive yesterday, and we'll go ahead and take that package out today. If you leave it in there for a long time, they can build a lot of extra burr comb, and we don't want that. So it looks like they've been doing good on getting the syrup out of there. Getting started. See how all the bees are not in the box? They're out and about. All we're doing today is removing this box, and you can see how there's just a few dead bees in the bottom, but most of the bees in this box are out of it. You can give it a tap. You can also shake it out in front of the hive, or you can set it there right underneath the hive. The bees will come out and they'll go into the hive itself. Put 4 frames back into the box. We still have this big space here with the queen cage, so we cannot put an extra frame in. Do not expose this. Do not look at it. Don't play with it. All we're doing is removing the box, putting these frames in. Put that feeder right back on the hive. Do not inspect, do not pull frames for a week. If you disturb the hive too soon, they can blame the queen and not accept that queen. So having a gallon of syrup in this, since they're going to be left alone for about a week. Again, put your lid on and move it back so that you seal up that upper entrance. We'll come back in a week and see what our hive looks like. It's been a week. Today we're going to check on the queen, make sure she was released. We're going to make sure she's got eggs laying. A week is more than enough time. If you do not have a laying queen within a week, there is something wrong in the hive, and you will only know that by doing an inspection. So we cannot just look at the front or inside. We really need to pull some frames out to do an inspection anytime we're looking at the hive. If there is something wrong, you got to figure out what it is so we can fix it. Now this is common if it's been a week. We call this shelf comb. when you have a space wider than bee space, you see how our frames are pushed together tight. Anytime you have a space wider, they will build extra comb. You have to be careful on this because you never know. We've been finding the bees are filling this up with nectar right now. If you wait too much longer, they'll eat that nectar or the syrup you fed them, and they will have a space for the queen to lay eggs. Speed up a bit. Just be careful, take your time removing that comb. Sometimes you can pull the whole frame out, but see how it's got a lot of bees on it? Just shake those off. Try to shake them inside of the hive and just set that off to the side. You pull the frame out and you just need to look at the frames. So they've already been bringing in lots of pollen. This has only been a week. Remember, these were brand new frames. We're looking for eggs. This gives you a chance to look for your queen. You don't have to see your queen. All we're looking for is eggs on the frames.
Larvae in these cells.
So we've not only have eggs, we've also got larvae already in the cells. I'm not seeing it, Liz.
These right here have larvae in them.
Can you point to one?
Okay. So this is all larvae.
So that is a little larva in there. Can you see that? Little thing, the bee just walked over top of it. Right there. So these are all larvas. That tells us that not only do we have eggs, the queen got out and laid quite a while ago. Here's some eggs. Oop, let's see, point my finger. See all these? These are eggs, queen eggs. At that, they're in the very center. And that tells us she was released and she's doing her job. She's doing good. Yay! Now, at this point, your inspection is technically done. You can go through the rest of the frames if you wish to look at the rest of the frames, see how much they've drawn out. So it's only been a week. We had 5 frames in here. They've drawn out at least 4.5 of these frames already. They're very quick on what they do it, or what they're able to do if they have syrup. So we're gonna put this back together. We're gonna put our 10th frame back into the hive, and we'll go ahead and put the feeder back on, make sure it's got another gallon, check them in another week. They will have drawn out at least 2 or 3 or more of these. They will slow down because the bees are getting older. They're not able to produce wax flakes anymore, but this gets them started. The queen's laying eggs. We've got some young larvae in there. Come back next week, it will be more developed, and it should be getting ready to cap. So we will see you in another week.